Hi everyone, myself Priya Shivaprakasam. I'm part of Ariba Solution Management Regional Innovation Group. I'll be supporting Mukesh here. This is a special interest group where we have the topics which is like across SAP, cross topics we will be like presenting in the form of webinars, and probably in case if you have any topic suggestions which you would like to see in the next sessions or the following sessions, you can let us know through the WhatsApp group. In case if you are not part of our WhatsApp group for Indus, you can let Mukesh know. He'll be adding you to the group. Today we have Shiva who will be presenting the topic today. And thank you, Shiva, for your time. And I will let you introduce yourself and take us through the session. Thank you.
Thanks, Priya. So I'm just trying to bring up the screen again. Okay, so you all can see the screen. Priya, can you confirm? I'll get started.
Yes,
Yeah,
Shiva.
Sure. So welcome you all to this session. So this session is all about intelligent scenarios with S/4HANA procurement. I do have a little disclaimer because there are some part of the presentation where we're going to talk about some of the work items which are in the future roadmap and so on. So that is subject to change, and hence this legal disclaimer typically we show while we having this kind of a conversation. Okay, so briefly before we get started, I know it's afternoon session for next 90 minutes. I'll make an attempt to make it an interactive session. Please feel free to ask your questions via chat. We'll keep them answered towards the end. But if really something is bothering you, please raise it so that we can take it then and there. So in terms of agenda, so today theme is intelligent procurement scenario with S/4HANA. Here, first as an introduction topic, I'm going to touch upon what does intelligent enterprise mean and how does it actually translate to a source to pay process, which is a topic relevant for today. And then I'm going to talk about so-called intelligent technologies like RPA, machine learning, conversational AI, and so on. So these are mostly technology topics, but then what we need to really correlate to our line of business is how does it really matter when you are executing the process in your landscape. So, and hence, so I'm talking about these four personas which are more relevant for a procurement process, like employee, operational purchaser, strategic purchaser, and finally by account payable accountant. Right. So this is what is lined up for next 60 odd minutes. Yeah, but if there are any questions, feel free to raise it. And then as a quick introduction about myself, I'm part of S/4HANA Product Success Co-Innovation and Content team based out of Bangalore. So been with SAP, mostly spent time and consulting in MM and other procurement relevant products. So last 3.5 years, I've been with this team mostly into product management family. So otherwise, I also have industry experience, mostly into shop floor operations and supply chain management. So that's a brief about me, and then we will quickly get started with the topic agenda, what is lined up for today. So just to give an heads up, since we are talking about intelligent scenario, we need to really understand what SAP's future direction in terms of intelligent enterprise scenario, how it gets translated into each of those technologies supporting as a pillars to these intelligent scenarios, what we have in mind, right? So you must have seen this slide as an intelligent enterprise in various forum, but just to give common understanding for the people who are seeing it for the first time, intelligent enterprise as a concept is an integrated process running along the entire value chain. So for an enterprise to work in an intelligent way or an autonomous way, they would have different functions kind of organized in their industry, could be marketing, sales, spend, and so on.
Sorry, we cannot see your slide. I'm seeing your email box.
Is it so? I am on the slide
Uh,
number 5.
yeah, can you try sharing it again,
No,
Shiva?
no. I am able to view.
I'm able to see as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we are able to see. Even I
No,
am able to view.
due to networking issue may get that type of issue.
So maybe you should refresh or rejoin the session so that you can view. Because I can see the slides and not anything else.
Yeah, right.
I2.
Okay,
Okay.
you
I'll
can
continue.
continue, Shiva, in that case.
So, so as I said, when we talk about intelligent enterprise, so SAP's vision is to have an end-to-end process running across the value chain. So it is talking about breaking down these processes into smaller blocks like lead to cash, source to pay, total workforce management, and design to operate, and having them executed in a seamless manner so that end customers need permit efficiently, and you also have a new um, experience thing coming into intelligent enterprise so that you have a close feedback to really improve your process. So that's in a nutshell what intelligent enterprise is all about and how SAP is really trying to support the intelligent enterprise concept. So as I said, it is just not a concept in a drawing room. It is already kind of there, and we have delivered many capabilities in the intelligent enterprise space in various processes, as I explained in the previous slide. But for today's discussion, we are going to largely discuss around source to pay process, which is kind of broken down into smaller blocks, which I will explain in the further slide. What is really important is these intelligent capabilities are delivered to support the run an end-to-end process, and these are the some of the innovations which we have already delivered, consumed by various customers. You like there are many very technologies part we're going to come. So just stay patient for a few more minutes. I'm going to talk about those each of those blocks in detail, and I also have some interesting demos to cover as and when we come to that topic. So this is what we're going to discuss further today in coming slides, like source to pay broke out down into smaller pieces, and how do we really understand what does source to pay means in the context of intelligent enterprise. So that's what we are coming to now. So when we talk about intelligent enterprise, where we have different processes supporting intelligent enterprise in the source to pay world, from an SAP standpoint, we do have many solutions which are kind of helping to achieve an intelligent enterprise scenario. There is Ariba, there is S4HANA, there's Fieldglass, and other processes as well. So what is really required to have an intelligent enterprise scenario running in a landscape? So typically, the asks are around a strategic procurement where it's all about selecting the right suppliers, or you're optimizing the existing procurement processes. So we will see in terms of demos how things have changed uh, versus last few years, where we are talking about leveraging a technology and how we are really automating each of those processes compared to the earlier landscapes you all have been exposed to. Okay, so probably I'll spend some more time in the process standpoint so that we all can correlate what we're going to talk for next 1 hour or so.
Shiva, there's one question from Gupta. How much of this could be done only with S4? Would you like to take that question?
Uh, Probably I'll reserve this question for slides to
For the
come,
end.
because yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I think he will
I'm going to
cover everything that you can do with S4. So by the end of the session, if the question is still relevant, will probably discuss that as well. So just please give some time for Shiva to present.
so when we talk about source to pay process as an intelligent enterprise scenario, as I said, it is broken down into smaller building blocks, which is the first one is source to contract, where we are talking about selecting the right category of supplier to execute your contracts, and you have the long-term relationship built so that you have your supply base steady, and your risk averse and so on, right? So if you want to correlate this entire process to a very simple example of the process or the kind of procurement activity you are exposed in a day-to-day environment, imagine in your organization you want to procure a laptop for your day-to-day work. So typically the sourcing and contract would come in by a category managers who are responsible to build a supplier base to supply a laptop to you or a computer for you. So that's sourcing and contract activity where a team responsible will sit together and they will come up with the numbers and they will negotiate with the suppliers of the world. Could be Macs, could be Lenovo's or any other suppliers of the world. So that's about sourcing and contracting we're covering out. So once you have a contract in place, it's all about you as an end user requesting for a laptop, and then you place your request, which gets kind of approved by your managers, and then you kind of get the laptop in your premises delivered. That's all covered in a procure to invoice cycle as a second building block. And then lastly, once you have received your laptops or computer in your premises, you have an obligation to fulfill. So that's a supply payment. So that is what is going to be covered as a part of invoice and pay. So these are the three main building blocks, I would say, which will cover source to pay process covered by SAP solutions. And we do have a plan and forecast, but this predominantly covered by a forecasting kind of activity. So we don't really talk about it much. But from an end-to-end visualization standpoint, yes, the plan and forecast building block is there, but mostly it's going to be covered in the next processes, which you will be exposed when you have this kind of session later. But for today, we are going to concentrate on these building blocks: source to contract, procure to invoice, and invoice to pay. Yeah, and we'll try to map different personas we have seen, like operational, strategic, purchaser, to these building blocks. Now, having said this, there are other intelligent technologies which is kind of required across all the building blocks. We are talking about analytics, we are talking about intelligent technology. So that is what going to be covered mostly for this session as well: how you can bring in intelligence to optimize your processes, how you can really have those leading technologies to automate your solution, and so on, right? So this is across all the building blocks. And similarly, you have various collaboration and integration capabilities covered through a network solutions we talked about. It's a more of an Ariba network and other network integrated as a network solutions, where you want to bring in your partners to have a closer collaboration and to reduce the risk in terms of partner and risk management. So this slide is more important to understand how an entire organization goes to a different steps from a source to pay process. I'm sure you must have done it using the existing solutions which are already there in the landscape, but we will see how S/4HANA can make a difference in terms of source to pay process. Okay, so we talked about source to pay process, we talked about intelligent enterprise scenario. Now we are coming more closer to the product SAP S/4HANA. So we are calling S/4HANA as an intelligent ERP, and we'll come to those capabilities as well. But just to have a correlation, how intelligent ERP, what intelligent ERP means, right? So you can actually correlate to a human body, where you have listening and speaking capabilities, which is around SAP conversational AI capabilities, and you have mostly acting, as in you could consider your hands and legs, I would say, as a human body, where you instruct a certain condition. Based on certain condition, you instruct your hand or leg to take over the task to do it in automated fashion. And you have a brain, so that brain is all about the machine learning capabilities, right? So where it will learn over the period of time, get the corrected activities into the range you want it to be there, and so on. So that is what we're going to cover in the later slides. And finally, we're talking about the experience management coming in. Though we do not have much delivered at this space in terms of experience management, but there are effort going on right now to bring in the experience management as well, to capture the data so that we can improve the process as well. So what I'll do next is I'm going to cover these building blocks, what I mean by the technologies like machine learning, the conversational AI, and RPA. And then I'll get into those demos which will make a difference to you in terms of executing the process. Yeah, so this is all about Intelligent ERP S/4HANA. And before we jump on typical procurement capabilities, I would really go slide by slide to explain what does RPA mean, what does machine learning mean, so that it is easy to kind of understand and have a common understanding. The first one on the list is RPA. So I think you must have heard this term called robotic process automation, which accelerates the digital transformation of a business process. Here, the focus is to replicate, do the automation so that the manual tedious tasks are kind of done in a more efficient manner. It could be an attended job or unattended job. So what do you mean by attended? Where you have an human intervention to trigger certain activities, that's an attended. Unattended is like you schedule the time of the job and then it takes care. So here, what are those examples? Imagine you have 5 systems where you are getting a purchase requisitions from. All you need to do is you need to either you have a scheduled job to create a purchase requisition for you based on the inputs coming from the 5 system on a particular time of the day, or as an individual you decide to consolidate those Excel coming or from various sources coming from different systems, that's 5 system, and you have it triggered for you. That's an attended bot. So here in the layman term, what we are calling as the robotic process automation is a robot taking over in a conventional world where the robot used to do a lot of activities like industrial tasks like welding and so on. Here we are using a software robot to take over the task which is otherwise very tedious, to log into 5 system, get the data, get it imported, get the data created. So all these things will be done using intelligent technology called robotic process automation. I also have 2 demos to showcase this capability when we come to the process part. Hope that is clear more from a SAP Intelligent RPA part. Now coming to the machine learning block. So I think we have been hearing machine learning automation in various forums for last decade. But what is important for us to understand is the machine learning capability which makes predictions and work with the diverse structured or unstructured data is already available in S/4HANA. We have delivered many capabilities, and there are many solutions which are already using these capabilities to train a system based on the data which is already available and kind of make a decision out of it. So why the machine learning is important, as is clearly highlighted, machine learning is really useful to predict and find the pattern. Like when I say pattern, you would really want to know where you need to do a course correction. Why is a certain purchase requisitions or purchase orders crossing your spend? What you're targeted? What is the real reason? What is the pattern? And those capabilities already delivered. We will talk about some of the use cases. For example, you would have a lot of data coming in today's world in the form of online documents, where you would want system to read and create the documents for you. Example, one of the customer we have worked with, and we have already done sort of a POC with a customer, where this customer used to get a lot of emails in the form of a request to create an order in the system. So what we have delivered as a use case is, instead of somebody doing the manual reading of the PDF and creating an order in the system, this capability was delivered to scan all the machine readable PDF document and convert the data into a format which S/4HANA system can understand and create a purchase order, and rest of the activities can go on. So those are the kind of capabilities we are talking about here. Again, this involves kind of an extensive training initially. Once you have certain documents and number of volumes covered in terms of training, then system takes over and you will have a lot of accuracy over the process. So here we talk about these like see, read, write, and these are some of the basic capabilities which will kind of enable machine learning solutions, right? Machine learning capability within the procurement solution. So one of that use case we wanted to cover is around the legalities. I think whatever you do in terms of the enterprise, you need to adhere to some of the statutory requirement, and these requirements are not static. They always keep changing. And one of the use case which was delivered around the localization requirements. Imagine there are like thousands of changes every day happening across company codes which you have configured. How do you really make sure whether the process you have built is foolproof in terms of statutory requirement? This was kind of fed into a machine learning solution where you can also, this link is there to understand how SAP actually approached it. The idea came from one of the SAP employee to kind of break it down, this whole problem, into a smaller blocks, like how the changes happens and what is the text which is involved, what is the language, how do you really kind of identify what is not relevant, what is relevant. So you can see here what system does is whenever there's a change comes into system gives an indicative rating whether these things needs to be addressed or not. And end of the day, it's human who have to make a decision, because systems keep learning every time there's a human intervention, and the mission is expected to learn over it. Okay, so quickly, so I covered RPA, I covered machine learning. Then there is new thing which is situation handling. Situation handling is quite new in S/4HANA framework, because this is not an usual workflow. Don't get confused with the workflow which all used to. Situation handling is building a condition so that only required users are informed, and these frameworks are built in such a way that you can take a proactive actions as and when really important. Example, one of the use case when you talk about situation handling is, imagine that you build a contract which is valid for 2 years, but situation, as if you design a situation to let you system inform certain users when it reaches a 70% of consumption, it might happen just over a period of 3 months or 6 months, you would not know. But as a user, you would want to be informed when it reaches a 60% or 70% consumption, so that you can take a corrective action, not waiting for the 2 years which was actual contract expiry date. So that is a situation handling. Again, this is just a one use case. We have many other use cases delivered. We can talk about it when it comes to that situation handling part and how it is going to be relevant for different roles we talked about. So again, this situation handling has three parts. One is condition, there is the related information and actions. It is as simple as someone who's functional knowledge can build those conditions. Based on this condition, you can inform the related stakeholders who needs to be informed to take a required actions, and what are those actions are listed on the right side of the slide. Okay, so in the InterSystem side, I'll go to the next one just to summarize on what we have gone through as a technology. So as I said, in order to run an end-to-end process, it is all that the technology can help you, but how do you really box it up, and how do you really connect each of those dots to really drive an outcome in terms of business process improvement or an efficiency in the business landscape? So this is what is a view where you will have various capabilities like conversational AI helping you to talk to the system, and the chatbots are there to help you to execute some of the process. You have RPA to automate some of the capabilities. It could be like creating a sales order for you, creating a purchase order from a procurement as an example, or you creating a good receipt against a purchase order, or getting an update of an invoice against an open document. So all these things are quite possible, and it is already working. So I'm going to show some of the demos, but to visualize, as I said, all these technologies will help as a small building blocks, and most of these building blocks are built on top of a cloud platform where you already have to have some of the technological advancements in terms of the product landscape. But then again, these things are already working in conjunction with S/4HANA as a product, right? So I've covered the introduction part. So now I'll actually jump onto how it's going to be relevant for each of the functions we talked about. So probably these are the 4 roles which are predominant from a procurement standpoint. I'm going to cover these roles and how these intelligent technologies are plugged in to make it really a good experience for an employee, operational purchaser, strategic purchaser, and account payable, right? So the first one on the list is employee, right? So the moment we talk about employee, right? So we would want to associate what does an employee would want to do and what really a manager job. Employee typically would want to order something quick. They just don't want to really uh, spend much time clicking on the screens, making too many repeated attempts. Whereas the manager would want to have a spend monitored as easy as possible. So when we talk about this persona, what is that we can offer from SAP to in order to really make it seamless experience as well as really efficient for an employee, right? So typically it starts with ordering. So when we say in the conventional world, it's all about making the clicks and entering so many fields, but how can you really make it nice when we have a picture taken so that system can order for you? That's one. And second, once you have a certain data entered in, there is a proposal which system can bring in which metal group it belongs to. Because in the procurement processes, material group takes really a higher priority because a lot of the processes and regulatory requirements are built around those process groups, the metal groups. And then how to add a free text to catalog, how system can really bring those proposal. We will see this, okay, in the coming slide in more in detail about how employee and consulting manager can benefit out of the capabilities which are delivered in S/4HANA. So in the slide, we also have given the YouTube links. So once you have these slides, please click on those links. These links will give you a very nice demo of how an end-to-end process runs for an employee and consulting managers I'm explaining. But then here in this session, I'm going to touch upon the very key highlights, considering that we only have next like 40 minutes to cover. But if you have any questions, happy to help you even after the sessions as well. So from an employee standpoint, as an employee as a persona, it all starts with how effectively you can create a request which can be done in as less clicks as possible. That's step number 1. After you do that, can system suggest a PR? Like if you type in something, system can really show up the proposal, what metal group it belongs to, and so on. And you can also have system give a proposal to you in order to reduce a maverick spend. You have many times requested for a product of similar description. System will give a proposal. Why don't you really go and add it to catalog? And similarly, this comes with the situation handling in case. Imagine you have a PR created and you're not confirmed the goods for long. You don't want to have too many open PRs which are not confirmed for long. System has a situation handling framework where it can give you a notification where users can log in and do the confirmation or take a necessary action, right? So in this entire the list, I'm going to demo few, okay? As I said, the detailed demo is already available in the YouTube, so you can just take a look at your ease when you have time. So now we're talking about the key highlight in the employee persona is all about how an employee can create a purchase requisition of an indirect item by clicking through an images, right? So I have a quick demo here, so we can take a look at the demo and then come back and take a look at this image-based buying. Imagine you have a phone and you're just trying to search for an image. So all you can do is you can just flash it. Suppose if you want to order keyboard, just flash it on. And system can search in your catalog and come up with a suggestion to these items which you already have built into catalog. So gone are the days where you have to really do a keyword search. And if you want to do that again with the desktop, just flash it. System will search the same item and bring in the proposal so that you can look at those proposal and directly order it from there. That's what I was talking about as an image based buying. So how intelligent it is, like you're reducing number of clicks, and also you're reducing time spent on this activity because it's just happening with a few clicks. That's first on the list. And second one is proposing a material group, as I talked about. So in a purchasing environment, so the metal group plays a very pivotal role, because all the approval decisions and other major business activities are tied up to material group. So whenever an user puts in a type, as in a type searches for a free text item, it's very important to put the right material group. And there is an inbuilt capability which is delivered, where system can propose a material group with a certain probability. Higher the probability means it is system is learning and it is more confident. Lesser the probability which is shown here means system is not sure whether this will fall into a right category, right? So these are the capabilities which are already available as a intelligent capability within the procurement space for an employee persona. So I'm talking about the next one, which is proposing creation of new catalog item. I think every procurement department have this challenge to reduce maverick spend. They don't want to really have too many free text items. Every time there is a free text item, it's very difficult to report, and hence not easy to consolidate and leverage the volumes for the better price and negotiation with the supplier. So here, idea is to identify such request happening more frequently and have the catalog built if there is a frequent request in the past for the same attributes. It could be same description, it could be relevant to the same material group, or could be same price range, and so on. So all these factors are built in, so that system proposes every time there is 5 or more instances, system will give a proposal. Hey, come on, you have already requested this item in the past. Would you want to create a new catalog item? So that's the intelligence delivered in the system. So pretty much I've covered what I wanted to highlight from the first persona, which is an employee or a consulting manager. I think we will talk about some of the capabilities relevant for operational purchases. Just a quick time check. I think, yeah, you've taken around 35 minutes. We're still good on time. Okay, so now I'm going to jump on to the next persona, which is operational.
Shiva, before you go to the next one, so I think there is a question from Gupta. Wouldn't be nicer to have a way to import catalog from vendor SAP? So I don't understand the question myself. So Gupta, would you like to unmute yourself and probably expand the question a little bit?
Mukesh, there was another question from Gupta as well earlier.
That's okay. That's fine. See, for example, if my vendor also has an SAP system and his catalog, his product sales is in their SD catalog, right? In their inventory or in their master. It's about their selling product. Where I'm buying, I like to import them as a material master. So essentially, if there is a simpler, sleeker way to kind of get it directly from that, or an import methodology is made simpler, it would be hugely beneficial, is what I'm thinking.
Yes, a point taken, but as you said, there is no, I would say, easy way. But then what is currently available in terms of solution is there is a OCA compliant catalog solution is already available. In case if you want to integrate other vendor catalog directly into your S/4HANA system, that is still possible.
So Shiva, just to add to what you just said also, so I think this was announced at Sapphire as the vision for going forward, which is networked organizations, and that the entire concept and the entire roadmap that is being built to realize this networked enterprises is exactly what you just spoke, Gupta, which is we know that a lot of customers, both suppliers and consumers or buyers, are using SAP systems. So how can we as SAP make that data transfer between a customer and a supplier seamless going forward is the vision that SAP is working towards. If you look at the Sapphire videos that Thomas Sauersig, who is our CTO or the head of development of products, laid out in his vision, you will actually see that this is the vision that SAP is going towards. So very, very valid and very intelligent point that you made, and SAP is already putting together plans to go to that, go in that direction. Hope that helped.
Yes.
Go on,
Yeah,
Shiva.
thanks. Yeah, thanks, Mukesh. So only thing which I wanted to highlight was I know it's an ask from many customers, but at the same time, what really stops when we talk about a different businesses exchanging the data, even when we are doing some of the POCs with the machine learning, not many customers would want to expose the price and the catalog details to other parties directly. So that is the way it was approached initially. Even now today, if other customer have a vendor catalog, if you want to bring into your landscape via direct connectivity, there is a OCF framework which is already available. You can call those vendor catalog from S4HANA system, and you can give access to your internal employees to procure it directly from those external catalogs as well. That is a feasibility which is already available. But when it comes to network, as Mukesh said, that's a future topic which is already in works. Yes. Okay. So I will go to the next persona, which is typically operational purchaser, where we spend as an in an industry where the procurement guy spend a lot of time streamlining the business and optimizing, working on the documents, stay updated with the status and so on. So what is the typical ask from an operational purchaser is it should be easy to process the documents like requisitions and orders and manage delivery issues and many asks like purchase order confirmation, supplier confirmations, and these kind of activities which are very mundane in nature, and hence there's a lot of opportunity for any customers to really build an efficiency. And rightly so, SAP has many capabilities delivered in terms of RPA bots. I'm going to demonstrate one of them where we are talking about creating a purchase requisition. I think I give an example of creating a purchase requisition coming from 5 different sources. So imagine if somebody has to do it manually, they have to either log in at a particular time and then create it, and it will have its own issues of system availability, time zones, and other challenges. But how can you really build it, right? How can you really do it via bot is what I'm going to show quickly right now, and then we can come back to the entire story of operational purchaser. Give me a second. I'm quickly going to. So as I said, like imagine the use case is about operational purchaser wanting to create an create a purchase requisitions which are coming from many sources, and you want to trigger an Excel, and you don't want to really have a high touch model of someone logging into system and then doing it. What I have is a simple Excel. Imagine you would get an Excel filled up. I think it's taking some time. Yeah, okay. So first thing I want to show is imagine you would get an Excel consolidated from different sources, and only for this demo I picked up only 4 line items or 4 PRs, but you can have many of them, and there's no restriction on the numbers. And then I have 4 line items which are showing on the Excel sheet, and typically a template which is predominantly defined upfront, and you can ask your external parties or external systems to give data in this format, right? And once you have this data ready, all you have to do is you have to go and trigger it so that system activities are done automatically with the click of it, right? So if I go and click on create simple purchase equation, you will notice that some of the activities will happen automatically. This is happening without my intervention. And at the end of this, I will get a report to my email saying that this activity is being done, whether it is success, failure, or whatever may be the status. Okay, I can also go and really monitor this in terms of, okay, I just need to know how to fix this, otherwise it's going to be a problem. Okay, so I have a dashboard kind of a view, which is called Cloud Factory, which will kind of monitor all the activities which are triggered by a bot. That's what I'm doing to know what happened to the bot which I just triggered. What is the status? Meanwhile, let me check my email whether it's already through. Just, I think it is taking some time. Yeah, it is still running. The blue dot on the smaller icon shows it is still running. I'm just bringing up this dashboard view where I can. Okay, so yeah, I think it was taking some time. Now that Excel sheet is up, I should expect a mail very soon. Yeah, so I'll show the Cloud Factory view a little later. It's taking time, but as an outcome, the configured email ID will get a notification as to say what has actually happened with this data what we have sent. So if you see here, this is the data what we have given and what's the system, and you could see the result. So there are 4 PRs which are created. If you want to verify, we can go to the system and see whether these documents are created, because I think that's what would really make you believe this. So I'm just going there. So I'm going to manage purchase requisition. So I didn't create it manually. I triggered it via bot. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to verify the output which is triggered from the bot is existing in the system or not. You could see that there is a bot which is which triggered this. So there is 675 number, and similarly you also have other PRs which are triggered here. So it's pretty simple from a UI standpoint. So gone are the days where you need to schedule a job and the scheduled job will run overnight, and you need to wait for the result whether it is successful or not. So all these things are taken care via IRPA framework. Just to explain the building blocks, what you just saw here in this pink color small icon is a desktop agent, which is required only for the attended bots. If some user would want to trigger it manually, that is when you need it. Similarly, you also have other tools which are there, like a Cloud Factory is one of them, where you can monitor the jobs, what actually is happening. So just give me a second, I'll close this or probably open another session so that it's easy. Anyway, so from a technological standpoint, so these are the small building blocks to support RPA as a technology, which is required when you would want to implement such an integrated and as well as an intelligent scenario working in your landscape. So we will come to the how part of it, how you can start with this and so on a little later towards the end of the slides. I'll talk about the interesting, the trial versions which are going on and how we can support you and so on. So right now, I wanted to show what we actually run. Like if you go to the monitoring tab, and you could see the dashboard view here, and you are 5 jobs which are successful. So this is what was successful right now. So the create PR job was successful, and that's the reason we could see the data there. And the reason why I came to this is when we talk about IRPA as a bot, right? So we have a different types of bots delivered from SAP, and it's going to work with S4HANA. At the same time, we also have many bots working with ECC as well, right? So in a way, you can explore when you kind of subscribe to the trial account. So what is of interest to you is whatever you want to do. Like imagine you want to create a purchase order, right? So you can search with a keyword and it will give you what are the options which are available, and so that you can go and explore more. So if it's a purchase order, so you will have pretty much the bots which could run on S4HANA, and you have the bots which could run on ECC and many other things which are possible, right? So as and when you go into this, like if you go into this, you will also find out what are the different possibilities, like which model it is possible and what is the prerequisite and so on. Okay, so somehow this line is getting weird. Anyway, so I'm not doing this lines, but anyway. So this is what is really important. If you have a time, you can go and subscribe to the trial account of the Cloud Factory, where there is a Play Store kind of an environment. All these bots are available. You can just go and type in the keywords so that you can go and explore and look for prerequisites and so on. Okay. So quickly, I'll come back to my.
Sure, there is a question. The question is this an add-on product or inbuilt in S4HANA? So I'm assuming that this is the RPA or bots that you're talking about is what Gupta is referring to.
Yes, it's an RPA one. It's an add-on. As in, it has to be bought in separately.
Separate license item.
Yeah.
But it does come, some of these, once you buy the licenses, some of these bots are almost pre-configured, right?
Yes,
if I understand correctly.
Yeah.
So how long does it take to, once someone licenses it to get it to productive use? Any idea in terms of time and effort?
Since the topic has come, so let me just take 2 minutes and explain. So how it works is currently there is a trial offer going on. You can have the trial activated in your account right now. You can use the trial account for 90 days with the email ID. Once you have the in a trial version, even not even buying it, I'm saying. So once you have this, like imagine you want to create a purchase order using this bot. There is a you can go to Play Store yourself, have this bot installed in your system. This installation might take 2 to 3 days, where you're kind of subscribing to a trial version, going to the Play Store, and then making the standard bot work in a system could take 2 to 3 days. Otherwise, there is no effort required to kind of build it from a scratch like a project which we are all used to. Once you have this bot running in your system as a standard bot to create a purchase requisition, purchase order, any other document, if you want to customize according to your business needs, that needs to be looked at case by case basis. But for a customer who would want to straight away jump in, probably there is a separate stream as a part of our team. We are actually driving with the different customers. We can actually kind of work with them and make it work in a week or a maximum of 2 weeks of time. I'm talking about one single bot for the first time, but then it is like every next bot might take just 1 more day or like 2 more days times.
Okay. And Shiva, we are only able to see your desktop. I don't see any of your PPT or any screen.
I'm just trying to get away with these lines. I don't know how I got this. This is very distracting, but then I don't know. Okay,
that's okay. Just leave it. Just go on with your presentation.
Yeah. So I'm coming back to the operational purchaser. I know we just little got carried away with the bots, but then bots are the latest technology we're talking about as an RPA, and bot is just not about only intelligent technologies is not just about bots. There are many other things which is making the whole source to procurement as a process intelligent. So I currently talked about only the first one. which is creating a purchase requisitions using a bot. Similarly, you also have other capabilities of creating a purchase order and other capabilities, right? So for an operational purchaser, from an end-to-end standpoint, to kind of always focus to improve the process efficiency and so on, there are enough capabilities, and we will talk about some of the capabilities like how it can help approvals and so on in the coming slides. But from a bot standpoint, there are various capabilities either to upload through an Excel or API based or UI based and so on. So I'll have one more bot demo toward the end, so we can talk about it in terms of RPA a little later. For now, I'll move on to the next slide, which is like the create PR we already covered. So I wanted to talk about the intelligent approval part. Just give me a second, please.
So while Shiva gets this sorted, I am now able to break you out into rooms. So Shiva, if it is okay with you, let's take a 5-minute break from the presentation and maybe allow people to quickly introduce themselves in different rooms and get to know each other. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
Okay, so I'm going to create about um 5 rooms, which will have each about 5-6 people in the room. The idea is that you introduce yourself to each other, unmute yourself. If you can switch on your video, introduce yourself, which company you're from, and what do you do for that company. And in about 5 minutes, I'll bring you back to the main room myself. Yeah. So you should now be able to break out into the rooms anytime now.
Yeah, back in the room, Mukesh.
Just wait for everyone to come back to the main rooms. So it just takes a minute or so to get everyone back
Yeah,
into the main room.
sure. Yeah.
I hope you were able to do quick introductions. So if people are okay, you can also share your LinkedIn profiles on the in the group or in the chat. You can do private chat as well. So if you want to connect to someone, so that's a good idea as well. So the whole idea is that you take some of these connections that you make here and take it outside these regular Indus events.
Sure, Mukesh.
So let's just give another 30 seconds, Shiva, before you take it away.
Mukesh, you snatched us from the meeting.
I did. I did broadcast a message that you'll have 60 seconds. So
Yeah.
I hope it was interesting. I definitely think that it is important to make these connections as well outside of just attending some of these webinars.
Yeah, it was interesting. Good initiative.
Thank you. So Shiva, maybe you should take it away from where you left off. Yeah. So now I think you figured out what was wrong. Shiva, you're on mute, I think.
Shiva, can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, I realized I was on mute. So thankfully I could figure out what was this issue. Okay, so I think we stopped where we were talking about operational procurement, which is really important from a procurement kind of building efficiency and then driving the automation in terms of procurement activities. So one of such really interesting use case from a machine learning standpoint is the confidence level when you send an item for an approval. So I know in a procurement, everything is workflow centric. You need to have your purchasing managers and others really approving it. How good it will be in case if you get a proposal while you get a request from your employees or from a person who's requesting, uh, you will get a work item in inbox. Along with that, you're going to get a certain recommendation from system which will be trained again with the data what is available in the system. Imagine some of the item corresponding to a particular material group getting rejected very often. That will have a very less confidence level versus some of the items which gets approved very often. So there is different capabilities and the kind of algorithms built to give a user a confidence as an approver when they have work item in their work in their task list, which one they should really concentrate. In summary, any work item with a lesser confidence which is shown up on the system needs to be looked at, to be analyzed, versus one with the higher confidence level, right? So that is an intelligent approval capabilities which are delivered on top of S/4HANA again.
And this is standard S/4HANA, right? There is no additional
Yes.
license for that.
This approval capability we talked about, yes, this is an additional one. Whereas approval itself is a standard one. Okay, so I'll move on. I still I think have two more personas to cover, which is strategic purchaser and account payable accountant as well. So in the strategic purchaser context, right? So we will have many tasks which is difficult to prioritize for a purchaser. So because these are typically high value transactions where they would expect a strategic purchaser to really monitor spend and do those activities in time and have the contract really built for a long time. So that's the expectation. So what are the capabilities we deliver from SAP on top of S/4HANA, where some of the capabilities are, as I said, are already available as a standard, as a out of the box capabilities, and there are some which are additional licensed item. But here mostly what you see are the ones which are available out of the box.
Deva, I have a question. Sometime
Yes.
back, somebody asked that what is the add-on thing and what is the standard thing. So you told that approval is a standard function available in S4HANA, while this ML-based functionality is an add-on. Is it?
Yes. So basically, if you want an approver to have the confidence level when every work item lands up in their inbox, then it's an additional licensed item. But if you want to configure approval subject to your business condition, that is anyway available as out of the box solution.
That is your SAP workflow, you can say.
Yeah, the flexible workflow framework, and you
Yeah.
also have various other capabilities like deadline monitoring and things like that, email
And-
notification.
And how is it licensed? Is it per approval? Is it per material? Is it per PO? How is it licensed?
There are, I mean, it's mostly in the bundle where they bundle it out together, like the transactions in terms of it is bundled in a way where like one trigger of RPA can cause like 300 transaction in S4, but the licensing is only done for RPA part, or these some of the proposals machine learning we talk about. But more than this, I do not have information because, as you all know, I am also not from a accounting team, so I do not have much details on the commercials part of it.
So I will figure this out and come back to the team if someone is
Yes.
interested.
Yes, we can definitely figure it out jointly if somebody is interested.
So if you really want to know how it is licensed, just put your name on the chat, and we will get back to you. Thanks.
Okay, so I want to touch upon some of these capabilities we've delivered to make it really automated or efficient process in terms of end-to-end process for a strategic purchaser. So here, that's a view again. So where typically the strategic purchaser is all about identifying those opportunities where they can really build those supplier base which are stable and then can really bring in the quality material at the reliable prices, right? And also you can think of a strategic purchaser always hunting for those items which needs to be kind of published to the external world to get the better price and keep that really well balanced supply going on to your production line, right? So this is what I want to show quickly. But otherwise, some of the situation handling example, I think I already talked about the situation handling, which is already there, where you would want certain users to be informed when a contract is going to expire, not just after the date which you are maintaining in the system, but based on certain business conditions, right? You might create a contract for 1 year, but you might just consume it in 3 months. But in that situation, it will be good if a purchaser comes to know when the contract consumption it at 60 to 70%, rather than when it is exhausted 100% or after the expiry date is reached in the system. So basically those kind of insights are available readily in the system as out of the box solution. So one such capability I want to talk about here. So imagine in a material base what you have in your landscape, you ideally would want to have at least one or very few, at least few suppliers as a source of supply for all the important materials which exist in your system. So I just quickly want to show something in the system as a demo. Second. It's coming up. I'm not going to show entire process, but then I just wanted to really show this part, how it is readily available in system, how system will give you that view as in what are the materials which needs to be identified and how system will give that proposal, right? So that's what I'm going to cover right now. It's taking some time. Give me a second. Okay, it's getting in. So there is an app called Monitor Materials Without Contracts. That's what we are going to access. So what this app does, it actually scans through all the materials which exist in the system, and based on the transactions which is kind of happening in your system, it comes up with a recommendation. So these are the items which must have a contract. So if you see, there is a ranking given. So higher the number of ranking, that means there is really a need to have the source of supply kind of established for this kind of material. So again, this ranking, how this ranking is developed. So there is a whole lot of algorithms which are running. So some of the few which are displayed on the screens are how critical is this item, like whether it's a long lead time item, whether there are many suppliers exists for this supplier in your landscape, and so on. So some of the criteria are displayed there, and there is already a red and green kind of a color marking is already done to say where this material is not doing good. And at end of the day, system will give a proposal. If you think system is not giving the right recommendation, you can see that on the right side there is always a dismiss button. You can ignore it and move on. But if you think system is giving the right proposal, as and when you gain the confidence, so you can go and create a request for quotation so that you can come up with the established supply base for this item. So I'll just stop here in the interest of time, because this is a piece I want to demonstrate to say how system can really help you to make those intelligent decisions, which is again coming out of the box as a solution when we talk about as a S/4HANA capability. I'll quickly move on to the slides again. So this is what I think I wanted to cover mostly from a highlight standpoint for a strategic purchaser, right? So there are many other capabilities which already I've explained, and there are YouTube channels as well. You can take a look at it at your ease. Again, I'll go to the next one, which is accounts payable consultant, or AP consultant, AP manager, the persona we talked about, right? So here, so any procurement which is done will have a certain obligation to fulfill. So most of the time, this person always spends a lot of time in the system to figure out what are the updates which needs to be there in the system, whether it could be the status of the document, or could be the payment status, and so on. So that's the typical ask. So the challenge here is this persona always have to really look at various systems to give an update to supplier. So I'll also demo one such use case in terms of IRPA bot. So otherwise, I think if you look at the solutions which are listed here are the intelligent capabilities which are delivered in this space. You have various options to upload supplier invoices, could be a machine readable format, or could be reconciling GRIR postings. And the interesting use case which I want to demo is around replying supplier invoice status request. Imagine you have many supplier base. You would want to update supplier about the invoice status every time there is an email, or you want to do it on a weekly basis or on a regular basis. There is a bot which we can make use of it, and we can run it so that you don't have to do anything. As and when you run the bot, you can configure an email ID for that particular supplier. It actually sends an email directly to the supplier. So that's the one use case I want to quickly show here as a bot doing this job for you. And then I'll quickly come back to what is lined up as a procurement vision. Give me a second. So this, I just need to switch quickly. So what you see currently is a desktop agent to run a IRPA bot. It would take some time to restart because I'm just going to trigger one other activity. Okay. it takes a while the other activity was stopped and we are switching. So the switching things, okay, now it's there. So right now, as I said, our use case is here in this case, I would want to get a supplier invoice status. Imagine you get you are playing a role of account payable consultant or a manager. You would get a mail from your supplier asking for the detail. How do you deliver that information on a regular basis is what we are trying to do via bot. So here, this is a very simple bot which is called UI bot. What it does is it actually let me show what happens in the system. So here, imagine you have the information from your supplier in a particular template, right? So imagine you have a invoicing party and the reference which is given to you or an email. You just want to figure out what is the status of this invoice, right? For a supplier. That's what I'm going to show in the bot right now. Quickly, so supplier invoice status check. It will open up the UI. You can give all the required details like the Excel I showed and where it needs to be, which email ID which needs to be dispatched, and the system URL and so on. So I've already filled it for the purpose of demo. All you need to do is just say okay, and then you can see that there is an activity which is going on here, which is getting registered. Every time there is an activity update, you could see that there is a status check happening in the system. And end of the day, the outcome expected is an email which goes to a supplier or a stakeholder email ID you configured. Those stakeholder will get the information from the system directly. For a demo purpose, we have only one entry, but you could have as many entries as possible in the real life. So this information is happening on the system. I mean, the system is fetching that information. It is sending an email. So it says all good. Okay. Very soon I should have an email as well coming. Okay. So this is what it says. You can see that if you open an Excel, it will give you all the details from the system. Go to that, invoice status. You could see this is what I had shown, invoice party and then supplier ID. There's a document number, invoice amount, and other details. Right. This is again a very simple example, but you can also really manage some of the different complex situations in terms of getting the status and sending it to the suppliers and the right stakeholders. Okay, so I'm coming back to the slides again. Now I've covered in terms of demos pretty much whatever I wanted to show from an intelligent technologies along with different technological blocks. So this is how it will look like. Different capabilities are delivered for an account payable manager. There are various bots to help in terms of getting the status of the documents and how the posting can be matched and so on. So I will not get into details of them, but as and when you get a time, please go to these video links and really look at those links. Those are quite useful. What I wanted to show, sorry.
Shiva, there are two questions. So one is from Gupta on importing invoices, and also does it have the capability to look into the PDF files too? So Gupta,
Yes.
would you like to unmute yourself probably if you want to add something more to this question?
I think it's okay. PDF is, most of the invoices come in PDF and with digital signatures nowadays. In such scenario, how is this gonna kind of take that and validate the digital signature as well and take it up with that, you know, it's exactly to the right supplier, that same supplier has sent it, and hence only post it against that and so on.
Yeah, in terms of uploading capability, yes, all the mission readable PDF can be uploaded, not the photo itself, but then if you have a online as in the PDF generated by system, right? So that document can be read by system as an S4HANA along with the IRPA bot I just described. It can help you upload those bots to the right supplier. That can be done. as long as it's in a machine readable format.
Yeah,
The
there's
same-
one
the
more
same-
question.
There is the same functionality in the vendor invoice management also, yeah, with OCR.
Yes.
So are you talking about the same or is it different? Or you are only telling about RPA solution?
I'm talking about RPA as a technology which can do it via bots. Like you don't have to really log in yourself. Whereas what I know of as an integration which is built on top of the document management systems from a OCR point, you will have to log into system and you have to scan it yourself, or you have to schedule a job. If it throws up an error, you have to go and troubleshoot yourself. That is the capability which is delivered with the or the all these vendors you're talking about. But then what I'm talking about is a bot. Once the PDF is delivered to a certain location, system can pick it up automatically and post the document without you logging into system physically.
Okay, it is better than the Vim solution, yeah, where you have to scan the invoices.
Yes. So,
Then CR is we have to buy licenses for the OCR also. Is that correct?
there are some services, yes, you need to subscribe to, but then as I said, I do not have a details on what services you need to subscribe, but essentially, yes, you need to buy certain services license for a OCR capability, but then it's all bundled when you're buying an intelligent technology, like if it's a machine learning or other intelligent technology, it's going to be bundled into one. You're not going to buy into each of the pieces.
Yeah, I know. No, you talked about Ariba, but Ariba is also talking about this invoice management also. Yeah, they have one thing that's called vendor invoice management.
Yeah,
So,
that's my next topic. Since we were coming to an end, I think while we talk about procurement, it's quite
okay.
obvious. It's quite obvious that what's happening to other procurement solutions you already have. So Ariba, S4HANA, we're all working together as one team for sure. And then all of these intelligence we talked about are invested only in one system. Like if I talk about a network and Ariba network and so on, there is enough innovations to cover on the Ariba front, the way I explained on the S4HANA. So, but there is going to be very less overlap as much as possible when we talk about both the solution like S4HANA and Ariba. Both will have a different purpose and a kind of in a end of the day, it has to be delivered in a way that both the process runs as smooth as possible. Like we have a contract management coming from Ariba, we have integration delivered for S4HANA. If some customer would want to still run Ariba contract management solution, they are free to do, but still they can have the operational integration with S4HANA. So all these things are already thought through. We also have a integration white paper authored by our CEO Christian Klein himself. So all these things are actually detailed out. If you still need some more information, happy to do so. But as a procurement, as a vision, so this is what SAP is actually aspiring. In some cases, we are already there. In some cases, we are yet to catch up. Like some of the things I talked about as smart ordering, image-based purchasing, it's already, some of the things are already there. But we also kind of leveraging one capability from one solution to the other. Example could be Ariba guided buying. We have already built an integration with Ariba guided buying to operational purchasing. Probably that is not dwelled into it so much because we thought we will concentrate mostly on the intelligent technologies. But otherwise, this kind of leveraging one solution to the best of its use is already done. In some areas, yeah, there is some work which has to be done. But when you talk about central procurement, the S4HANA is a way forward where it's a next generation business process because SRM is going out of maintenance very soon. And the other previous procurement solutions like many CLM, SLC, or many other solutions as well. So going forward, it's going to be the one procurement solution driven by Ariba and S4HANA jointly. Of course, there is some field glass play as well. So that's the overall picture. I wanted to bring in the overall picture before I really end it with the question answers and the trial versions part of it. Hopefully this given you some insights.
Yes, Shiva. I would like to refer to that white paper, yeah, because I have an ECC system and I am buying Ariba right now. So it is not clear to me that what would be my best solution architecture, yeah.
We can share it along with this slide deck as well.
So one of the things that you can also do is I think I've shared the link in the chat. SAP releases the entire future-focused development roadmap from a procure to pay kind of a process on the roadmap's website. So let me reshare that here so you can actually see what functionality will go where when it comes to procurement.
Yeah, I have access to that.
Mukesh, that's very helpful.
Shiva, I have a question.
Okay.
In this particular process where system or bot is automatically posting the invoice by reading PDF or any other content. So what is the medium of reading this content? Is it OCR? The bot is using OCR, or how that particular reading is happening?
So end of the day, it's all using the API framework which is already available. So these APIs are available in the system which is going to read the data. So as and when this API is made available from other, like you talked about OCR capability being there. So there are APIs to read that kind of information and put it into a format which S4HANA can understand. So that's what.
So it means it means based on our scenario, we have to activate these APIs. Means suppose if means all our transaction is happening through PDF, and I want to convert that PDF into transactional invoice processing, then I have to activate OCR API. Is it?
No, not really. So that once you subscribe to that API, so it automatically reads the data in the PDF and converts into a format which S4HANA can understand automatically. You don't have to really reinvent, provided you are using only standard fields. If you have enhanced your structure to use custom fields, then probably you need to enhance API itself.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is one slide which I wanted to bring up as the innovations which we have lined up from an intelligent technology standpoint. As I said, again, some things might change, but then there's a roadmap we already have and working towards it. Sorry, I do have one more minute. I just wanted to talk about the trial version. So I would highly recommend people on the call. There is a SAP Cloud Platform trial versions which are available. So you can just do it with your company IDs. Once you have the trial version account activated, it is valid for 90 days, and then you can anyway extend it if you really need it later. You would have to install certain installables, and then you are ready to run in a matter of 2 to 3 days. As I said, it's a very great opportunity for all of you to hands-on because in a conventional world, it was very difficult to get access to this kind of technology. Since you already have this opportunity, please do so. In case if you need a helping hand to get into that stage, you can also contact me through Mukesh. So we can also help you by having the dedicated session so that you can get onto that stage. Open to questions.
Hi, Prasad here.
Go on, Prasad.
Go on, Prasad.
Hello. Yeah, this is regarding the question for any planned API which is already available for SAP DCS solution. Is basically for the GST returns which is there. There are a lot of exception scenarios where you need to have where the vendor invoices are not being received, or there are a lot of mismatches with the vendor invoices vis-a-vis the invoices uploaded in the GST R1 returns by vendors. So whether any kind of already available APIs are there for RPA to send email or for mismatches with the vendor invoices?
Not that I'm aware of it, Prasad, but if you can say some more details, I can actually work with you.
Basically, we are using this cloud-based SAP Digital Compliance Service.
Okay.
Okay, and this is basically the vendor invoices which has to be submitted to the GSTN authorities, right?
Okay.
So it has to go through ASP as well as GSP.
Okay.
And there are two different returns, with GSTR1 returns which has to be filed by the suppliers, and GSTR2 which is the reconciliation of these invoices. So a lot of invoices, vendor invoices, has supposed to be there available in GSTR1, and only then the companies are going to get the input tax credit for those. And there are a lot of APIs which are being given by GSTN network, through which this we need to configure. So what currently the scenario is, there are a lot of mismatches, vendor mismatches vis-a-vis what is been filed or uploaded by the vendors in GSTN and the invoices which are being provided to our companies. So in this mismatches scenario, there is a lot of follow-up has to be done to the vendors. So whether any kind of ready-made or any planned API which is already available, or which is anything in future which is planned for this kind of scenarios. Because there is a lot of vendor interaction which is required in these cases.
Yeah, Shiva, shall I take that question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, Shiva, this is Anup here. So at present, we don't have, so I'm part of the Shiva's PSSC team, actually basically driving this RPA or RPA scenario. So basically, but I was part of the GS or globalizations team, which is delivering the DCS solution. So, so basically here, we don't have that vendor APIs or the APIs for the vendor mismatch or invoices. So there we don't have it right away now, but of course, this is something which we can take it to the DCS team, which is working on the, basically in the DCS solution, you will get the mismatch invoices from, on a monthly basis, you will be able to reconcile those vendor invoices based on the invoices that you have captured in SAP. But as such, we don't have communication API so that we can give some, let's say some emails or email triggering or once they correct it, how we can take it back to DCS, or that is something which we can explore on. You can probably share the scenarios we'll take up with the DCS team.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I know that we are out of time, but any further questions? Otherwise, Priya, if you can just close out the meeting.
Yeah, sure, Mukesh. So we'll give 1 more minute. If there is any last questions, then we will close the call. If not, yeah. Any other questions? So already Mukesh has shared the PDF version of the presentation in the chat. Probably you can download that, and in case if there is any questions, you can reach back to us. And we will also be sharing the recording shortly in the WhatsApp. And Mukesh has shared the WhatsApp link as well. In case if you're not part of it, please feel free to join there. And any future topics, if you think, you would be interested, please let us know in the WhatsApp, or you can contact myself or Mukesh. We'll take it up accordingly. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining the session. And Shiva, thank you very much for your time for the presentation. It was very useful and indeed very helpful. And there are a lot of questions, and probably if there is anything coming up as an additional questions, we will take it up and probably can share it with you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.